Hello, Dream Team.
We've done a show from very spectacular locations before, but this is better.
Team for Saturday.
You go all Irish or all Scottish.
I think you go Bundy and Gary Ringrose.
After your scathing review of Finn Russell, are you comfortable with him starting at 10?
But, I think he's pretty close to man of the series.
The Australians have hosted an incredible Lions series.
They've gone from an 80 million debt to 30 million in profit.
They need a bit more depth probably in the pack. They've got superstar backs.
They've had a couple of days R&R, refresh, reset, rehydrate, go again.
Into the final moments, Alex Payne trying to keep this side going forward. Haskell takes it on now with just relentless chat, largely about himself. And there's Tindall to add the finishing touch of glamour and World Cup winning stories. That is how you podcast.
Hello, Dream Team. Welcome along once again to The Good, The Bad and The Rugby, proudly sponsored, as always, by our very good friends at Continental Tyres, the official tyre partner of England Rugby. Whether on the rugby field or the road, you can trust Continental Tyres for exceptional safety, performance and grip. And if you're not already subscribed, please do that. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of our Lions shows. We're getting towards the end of the tour. And what a tour it has been. As ever, please give us a like and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you're listening, very warm welcome to you. If you are watching, just a very quick word on, I think, possibly the most sensational situation we have ever recorded, and that probably includes
it's not good for Haskins.
situation. We've obviously done Windsor Castle, that was internal. This is, do you want to just describe what we've got behind us?
Well, we've done a show from very spectacular locations before. Ibiza was one of those,
That was
but
good.
this is better.
Yeah.
Iconic, two of the iconic
Landmarks
is a very good word for it, in the world.
I'm not
The
sure there's
Sydney
another
Harbour
word
Bridge.
for it, though. It's a good word, but it's the only word. Just don't want to correct you, but...
All right.
Right.
Tourism hotspots. That's two words.
Yeah.
So yes, the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah. Not bad, is it? Does your room
bad
look out
at
onto
all.
this?
No, mine looks over some older buildings
But-
and a bit of sea.
But the upstairs,
But it's still
the
nice.
upstairs does, doesn't it? And the rooftop garden.
Yeah, the rooftop garden I've got. Because
Yeah.
we talked about it in the lock-in a bit, but there's been a bit of discrepancy over hotel rooms, isn't there? I mean,
Little bit.
if anything, my room's too big. I rolled over 8 times this morning. I was still in bed.
Lovely.
And I had a guy who, like coming to America, my butler, because I've got a butler, but he sleeps in the room in the servants' quarters. And he, when I first came in, he was making me a lovely old-fashioned, just how I like it.
And rolling you a handmade cigar.
I did roll me a handmade cigar, yeah. Not on his thighs, because I wasn't into that.
Right.
Anyway, welcome.
Just back to the script momentarily.
I don't want to do the script.
No, okay, but it says the Intercontinental is part of the IHG Hotels and Resorts family, who are the official hotel partner of the British Irish Lions tour to Australia. We've actually seen a lot of the players downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Which is
have.
very nice. So wherever we go on tour, we're staying. Well, it says we. You're staying with
staying
IHG.
with
I'm on the
That's
extras
because
tab.
because you went off rogue, didn't you?
But
I didn't
do
get
not
rogue. I was
forget,
trying
though,
to check the
IHG
bottom line.
has 6,600 hotels around the world, and IHG One Rewards membership is a game changer. It's free for those to join, and you can even bag some rewards for major events by using your points.
Anyway, back to the rugby.
Should we do 3 things on this show? We'll have
What's that?
3 little digestible chats. Pick a team for the final test. We saw Maro downstairs.
We did see Maro
Good
downstairs.
catch up and chat. They're going for it.
Yeah, very much
So
so.
that will influence our selection.
Because they want 3-0.
They want 3-0.
Yeah. Maybe what Henry Pollock said is not so outlandish anymore, all those who knifed him. I wonder, do you reckon anyone who ever criticises people and is proved wrong goes, I probably shouldn't have said that?
But I think with Pollock, wasn't it, that most people out here know the role of how big this has been, and they've wanted it to go to a decider, mainly for the hype, for it to continue for another week, because there is always, after a series win at 2-0, the feel of a bit of deflation. Whereas if you go to a decider, the second game was always if they'd have won, it'd have still been a rocket of a game. Everyone would have been like, oh my God, it's been unbelievable atmosphere, but we go again and we're only going that way. Whereas winning it in the last minute, you're so up there, and then it's a bit of me.
But I think it will. It is the Lions. It's a third test. It's going to be sold out again.
But I think as a player, you are always coming here to go 3-0.
Yes.
So I think Pollock's saying that.
So you're going to have to find a way to.
I was on board with all of it. I love a bit of trash talk.
Interestingly, Maro said he thinks that this might be the best performance of the lot this week, because he said there was definite tension on Saturday, but now it's won. You can actually go for it, and you're playing for sort of the whitewash, not the pressure of the win.
Okay, well,
Go on.
no, so this weekend is the epitome of what Andy Farrell said and Alan Wynne-Jones counteracted, because there is no tomorrow after this game for lots of people.
Yeah.
But there's also 6 weeks off to either be a 3-0 champion or the last time you put a shirt on, you lose. So there's two sides of that coin that both make perfect sense. But what would you rather be? Because if you get a chance to do it, it's immortality to get a 3-0 victory. Because, you know, I think there's only, as you said, 13 Lions Tour.
13 Lions Series winners.
How many whitewashes?
Well, that is interesting. So if you want to go way back, and I only know this because we did it on Saturday on the live show, and I'm a nerd. But there were a few whitewashes at the start. So sort of 1880 something, 1899. They went 3-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 at the start. Yeah. But in any of our lifetimes, it's not been
and so
done.
I think that's great. And I think obviously the fact that Owen Farrell is now the only Lion of the modern game to win on 2 series, is that right?
Yep.
So congratulations to him. But I think, you know, you've got to make an idea up. Do you want to take do you want to go into this game and go, it's all won and we're happy and we're content? Because if he's not going to change the team, then some guys won't have played, so they'll probably be training tomorrow. And you've got the bin juice or the midweek, they're still going to have to turn up and front up. And then I imagine circa Thursday post-lunchtime, the wheels will come off for them, rightly so, because they're not going to be involved. I mean, some guys might be on standby. You just go, listen, take it easy. But for some guys, they won't be in the mix at all. And for those players going to play, do they want to create a legacy that will be talked about for a long time? Smash, beat an Australian side, go 3-0 and go off and then enjoy themselves in various hot places around the world.
Also, in this, have the Lions ever been 2-0 up in the professional era?
97.
Have the Lions Tour ever won an entire Lions Tour across the whole board?
74, but they drew the final test. Fergus Slattery had a try chalked off with the final play of the final test.
But
and so it was 3-0 rather than.
But even the 1997, they didn't win. They didn't win all their tour matches. No one's ever won. We've won all our tour matches, won everything, and then could do a complete whitewash
on the road, because Argentina obviously was.
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
in country.
Well, in country. Well, warm up. Is it actual tour?
Well,
are we going to caveat it? Can we caveat it? I don't think we can.
And so in '97, when they were 2-0 up,
they changed everything.
5 changes, didn't they?
Yeah. Can we do 3 quick things then? 3 10-minute chats.
Yes, fun, please. What would you like to do? Yeah.
Team for Saturday. 2, do the Lions tour Australia again in 2037. 3, pick a team for the Lions tour of 2029 to New Zealand. We'll come on to that.
We could do all. Do you know what?
We
could do all of those things.
Thank you. So, Tins, first of all, do you make wholesale changes? Do you tweak what's already there? Do you go again with what did the job on Saturday?
No, I don't think you make wholesale changes. I think I said this straight after as an immediate reaction was you've got to respect the Aussie team. I think in another way they could have quite easily won that game on the weekend. I think you've got to respect them. I just don't want you to go out there, make wholesale changes, you lose, and then people and all the Australian probably go, oh well, they changed everyone.
Yeah.
Or be perceived,
it has to be a meaningful
perceived
match.
to be a lesser team. I know everyone on the Lions tour deserves to be here, and they could all probably start.
Yeah.
But there's still a perception of what a team could be a lesser team if you make a load of changes. Now there are a couple that could. You know, if you look at the injuries that were the changes that were forced on them this week, they could revert back. We talked about obviously Tupelotu was hamstring.
Let's go through position by position.
So I think if you went from 50,
Tom, to make notes, please, and we'll then do a social thing. Ellis to come back and start.
That's what.
If you
who are you ordering around?
Yeah, exactly.
Producer Tom.
You could argue that Black Kinghorn could start.
Can we go position by position?
15.
Yes, we are. 15.
Oh, you want to get back down from 15?
Yes. Well, would you go from 1?
I'm a back. I start with the most important people first.
Okay, let's start at 15 then.
I thought Hugo Keenan was great.
So I think obviously Keenan ultimately won the game for him. Had a good game, but Blair Kinghorn has always been in the mix as that starting fullback and probably had that tag coming into it. I thought when he came on, he looked unbelievably sharp and quick.
Yeah.
So you could argue that if Keenan's in any way sore, you could give him a run.
So what are you doing?
I
think if you've got the man who won the series, you start again.
I start with him.
He's also had a lot of time in the sick bay on this tour.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing on Hugo Keenan that I mentioned to you earlier, saw it on social media? At under 14 level, Hugo Keenan, how old is he now, 24? He's 29. Okay, so 15 years ago. He was on the bench for Blackrock College under 14
So all you kids out there.
And now he's won a Lions tour.
Yeah.
I love stories.
Believe in yourself, train hard.
Where were you when you were 14?
Actually, at 14, I was
On
better
your-
than I was
you've
at
just
18.
seen Tommy
It was all
Rocket's
right.
eyes light up.
Yeah.
It means he's still got a chance.
Yeah.
Tom Rocket's still got
Still
hopes
got
of winning a Lions
no.
series. No chance. Okay, so start Keenan. Kinghorn still on the bench.
So Keenan at 15, Freeman stays 14. I still think.
Gary
Yeah.
Ringrose has to play if he is fit because of the decision on Saturday, doesn't he?
Well, you're going for the. No, you're going for the heartstring.
No, you're
I'm
going for
definitely going for
romance.
heartstrings.
Romance.
And I think the
Not the guy who scored. And
I know, but I think you know
Who's
he
played
controversially
well in
missed
all
out 4
tests.
years ago. Selflessly stood down in the second test. I think if he's fit, you have
Is
to
it?
play Gary
Yeah, fine,
Ringrose.
right.
but I think all the way through, you go all Irish or all Scottish.
So you go
you either pick one or the other.
Yeah.
I think you go Bundy and Gary Ringrose for the sake of
Now,
It's just nostalgia.
Now, do you, with James Lowe, who instrumental at offload and bits, and he's played well, but he hasn't played as well as I thought he was going to play, or be as dominant as I thought. Do you then put Blair Kinghorn on the wing?
or Kinghorn at 15 and Keenan
Keegan
on the wing, or
Keenan,
Mac
even,
Hansen.
not Keegan. Keenan.
I think they keep it the same.
Lower
Okay.
down.
I think if you're going to, you just said play with the pressure off. Feels to me like you'll be giving that a bit more air, and
Okay.
you'll probably see a lot more out of James Lowe. I don't think he's had that many opportunities,
Yeah.
And after
but
yours-
I think in the small windows of opportunity he's had, they still seem to have been quite impactful.
After your scathing
Um,
review of Finn Russell, are you comfortable with him starting at 10?
Starting at 10 or
Can I contextualise that, or should we
No,
just
no,
move swiftly on?
just-
No, do
I
it,
think
do
Finn Russell's, but I mean, I think he's
I know. We're
pretty
joking,
close
yeah.
to man of the series.
Yes. I agree.
I
It's been great.
We've discussed
even
that.
though the ball, as we said earlier on this week, the ball in hand didn't necessarily go Finn Russell's way for whatever reason. Not
was
that
under
he
pressure.
played poorly, it was just like last week.
You're suddenly
he
dealing
was
with a
getting a lot
tide
of
coming
people
in
coming
rather than
on.
going out.
But his kicking game
His-
got him
his kicking
completely
for the
out of
corner.
that and was.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Can I just
so he
confirm
stays.
how much I love Finn Russell?
Yes, we know
Like,
that.
this
It's
is
only
a-
because you made a point that it was
Yeah.
a different
You
sort
made
of
a
game
point that he played
because
shit,
he wasn't
yeah.
on the front foot. And Ronan O'Gara stitched you up because you'd stitched him up, and then John Bartley came over the top
Because
you'd
I stitched him up as
Because
well.
but the thing is, that's quite a trait of you. You're a bit knifey, and you
when
know,
it comes back, I've got to be able to
that's
take
what
it.
you've got to say.
I
And you
know,
haven't been
like-
able to take it. And I think this is a learning for you. Because
Yeah.
you know, because we don't really give it back to you because you are a bit of a sensitive petal, and but we know that you talk behind closed
Just
doors.
say that once more.
You're a sensitive
No,
petal.
the bit before that. You don't give it back.
We don't really give it back. You don't really get anything. Not really, not more, not as much as you deserve.
Okay.
Gibson Park stays at 9.
100%.
Yeah. How good was he?
He was
Do you know actually he
unbelievable.
led the charge post-match as well?
Yeah, Kiwis, isn't it?
All good nines. Love a tear up.
And if you go, they made substitutions to try and tie off the second half and bring it back. Does that mean because we lost the first half, you go back the other way and Genji starts with Sheehan?
Again, Sheehan. You see, I would love to see Tyg Furlong start because that's
Yeah, I
nine.
think
That's 9 consecutive Test match 3 shots.
And he was brilliant. And he should
was
have it.
brilliant,
Yeah.
So we're happy with that front
Yeah.
row.
Yep.
Second row.
Maro Itoje, yes.
Yeah. And said downstairs really wants.
Yeah, of course he
3-0.
does. Yeah. I thought his leadership was impeccable as well. I thought
Yeah.
great. Ollie Chesham, second
No,
row.
I think McGarthy
Barth
Is
is
He's
fit.
Is
He's
Mc-
fit.
are you going to come back from plantar fasciitis in a week?
Tricky one, that one.
Yeah. It's
Johnny
one of those
May
things
was
Johnny
the man
May
who
was-
introduced
Johnny
him
May
to
was
plantar
disabled.
fasciitis.
By Joe Marler by taking his orthotics,
Yeah.
and I think he had it for 6 months. So it's not something. It's an irritation of
It's
the
an irritation.
foot.
It's not
What
necessarily
is it?
something
Is
you
it
can't
like
play.
the arch or something?
Yeah, basically.
plantar fascia is upset.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
That's
is basically goes over the arch of your foot. So,
Got you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes all the
Ollie
way to here.
Chesham's.
So Chesham, I think if he's fit.
Yeah.
Although Ryan was immense off the bench
Yes, yeah.
defensively,
Ryan was.
wasn't
Yeah.
he? Good carry for
He's
the
got a very
final.
small face, James Ryan. Have you seen that? I reckon he could cover it
Or
all
has
with a
he just got
monocle.
a very large body?
Could do, yeah, but when he's a scrum cap, it's a tiny little postage stamp of a face.
Right.
Not that that's a problem. I haven't got a great face. Someone keeps asking me, fans keep going, "Oh, you've got away lightly, haven't you? But you've obviously broken your nose a few times." I'm like, "No."
Someone
I
said to me the other day, "God, he's much better looking in real life."
Yeah.
About you.
"Yep, that is. I mean, that's
New schweff,
that
new
is
teeth.
undeniable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've gone from a solid 4.8 to a 5.2 out of 10, and
Oh,
that's
no,
opened up a
nudge you up
whole
a
new
bit.
demographic of sixes for me, which
Has
I think
it?
is quite nice.
Keep punching up.
Well, I think I'll try. I think, but Ty
So what do we
Burn,
go
yes.
for- what do
Tom
we-
Curry.
What do we go for in the second round? Itoje and Jessamine?
Yeah, I think so. Or if Joe McCarthy's fit.
If Joe McCarthy's fit, I think
Yeah,
he'll
and
come
then
back.
it's a
Okay.
toss up between.
But I think Ches has won a spot on the bench.
Yeah,
Right.
Ty Burn, yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
He was immense again. Tom Curry, I think, yes.
Yeah.
Jack Conan again, yes.
What's amazing about that is we've taken probably 12 to 13 minutes to essentially say we'll pick the same starting 15 as
Yeah.
last week.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I think you could.
Reheating souffle, you said.
Would you mix up the bench? Would you whack on?
But then you've got to be. But remember, you've got to understand that, well, it depends what Australia do. If Valentini's fit again, and Skelton's fit again, you're still going to have good guys going to come off the bench. I just think it's, I don't know, it's horrible because if you put some guys that haven't been fully blooded in the mix, could that be a bit tricky? I don't know. I'd like to say maybe you could sprinkle in a couple of people, but I think most of the people on the bench have deserved to be on the bench. So would you just be moving people around for the sake of it?
So would it therefore be Kelleher, Porter? Well, actually, that would be the same starting 15 because obviously we put Ellis back in at one, didn't we? Yeah. So potentially it's Kelleher, Porter, Stewart, Ryan or Chesham, depending on whether Joe McCarthy is fit, Morgan, Mitchell, Farrell. Well, if we put... We didn't put Kinghorn in, did we? So Kinghorn at 15.
Well, I did, but you lot didn't. So
okay,
so that's fine. And then you could. Do people want to see Pollock? I think they probably do. Does he? I don't know.
Does that get him? It doesn't necessarily guarantee him.
No,
does it?
No. It's I think we might be business as usual.
Business as usual.
I think so. I think so.
And emotionally, how? So we were talking about '97 when they made a few changes, and it was obviously a Springboks side that had been humiliated at home. I think only the second time they'd ever lost at home, a home series, and so there was fire and brimstone. I mean, this Wallaby side is obviously absolutely desperate. But how hard emotionally, particularly after 3 days on the piss, you've got what you came for, to find the levels to go again? Or is that now what professional rugby is? Get on with it.
Yeah, it is. I think I think rugby has always been that. It's one of the best things about rugby. It's just move on, get back on the horse and go do it again. And that's what you've got to do. I think it's an easy emotional ride. I think it can be an easier week training to allow it all to be about recovery. Yeah. And that's the only thing they've got to prepare. It's like, lads, you've got to go again and win it 3-0. Knowing that this Aussie team desperately wants a result because they felt that they deserved it last week. So, I don't think that's a hard emotional mountain to climb, to be honest. 4 men have played all 80 minutes in both the tests so far. Itoje, Byrne, Conan and Keenan.
Well, Maro looked fresh and said he was fresh and felt fresh. So
he's got 6 weeks to look forward to once the final whistle goes.
I mean, would you knowingly want to give up your shirt? I just
not
don't
as captain.
Not him. I just mean in general. I just don't imagine everyone's going, I'm tired. I don't think that's how it works. And I think Andy Farrell, from everything I can see from the outside and speaking to certain people, he's created an atmosphere with a perfect balance of intensity, fun. And I think, the whole thing has been about winning 3-0. Whether he said it openly or not, I think that's what he's talked about. I think Henry Pollock would not have talked out of school. Henry Pollock doesn't come up with the idea of 3-0 off his own back. It's not Conor McGregor just making stuff up as he goes along. That is clearly a message that everyone's talked about, whether they've done it publicly or not.
The quote was, we want to come here and be the best Lions team ever. We've been talking about that loads, and 3-0 is definitely on the table, hopefully. We are all trying to strive to be the best team we can be and get that 3-0 win.
Exactly. So I think that's the whole thing, and I think everyone will want a piece of that. So they've had a couple of days R&R, refresh, reset, rehydrate, go again.
Can I ask you about Australia? And I suppose with reference tonight, is there any point referencing 97? I don't know. The Springboks are about as proud and ferocious a rugby nation as there is. How hard? Australia now they've obviously lost the series. They've got a rugby championship starting in 2 weeks' time. The first trip is away to the Box at Ellis Park, so that focuses the mind. But just from a sort of a business point of view, in 24 months they've got a Rugby World Cup down here. And I can tell you that going into Test 2, the ARU were very, very nervous from a commercial point of view around what defeat would mean to the Wallabies. Talk to me about where you think the pressure is on them going into. Is it a significant thing because the series is gone, or does 3-0 seriously damage the next 2 years for them in the lead up to the World Cup?
No, I think as look, I'm not Joe Schmidt. I'm not a coach. I never will be. But I'd say from a commonsensical point of view, he has had a period of time with his guys, but not that long. He's trying to develop a style of play and develop a methodology. I think we saw in that first half the minimum required standard from them, which was exceptional in terms of intensity. Things that require no skill were excellent. chasing, talking, communication. They looked like they had the freedom to play. They added a whole new dimension of physicality. I think it's important to play a very good side, to keep them together, to give them experience together, to create something. I don't think the Lions is is an anomaly in the fact that you're playing the best of the Northern Hemisphere. They're going into the Rugby Championship. They need to be prepared. They need to be ready. I don't think it affects anything. I think the Australians have hosted an incredible Lions series. I think, under criticism, under difficulty, just 18 months ago, everyone didn't want to tour here because they thought it was going to be pants. It hasn't been that at all. And I think they're in a really good place. I think, obviously, the Lions tour, I think, from a business perspective, from what I'm led to believe, has reinvigorated the coffers, has reinvigorated the...
They've gone from an 80 million debt situation to 30 million in profit, I think.
Yeah.
Tins, what do you make of the situation around the Wallabies team regarding the bigger context?
I think in the process of their journey, from where they were 2 years ago at the let's say it was the bunker that they were in, definitely beyond the basement. They were a bit further dug down than that after the World Cup. They've come up. They've done an Autumn Nations series where they've been in the arm wrestle with every nation in the Northern Hemisphere.
What do they need? Do they need 2 more Skeltons and 2 more Valentine? I mean, Skelton's now 33, so he's going to be 35 at the Rugby World Cup.
Look, they need a bit more depth probably in the pack, but I don't think there's much that's needed there. I think their performances, they've obviously had a bad first half in that first test, but since then they've been outstanding. Obviously outscoring the Lions in the second half of the first test, and then how they played in that first half and how they came out. I think maintaining that. We talked. It's a very similar journey to what England have been on, in some ways. We've seen glimpses of it. For all that time, we looked at England and they'd lose it in the last 20 minutes of every single game.
November last year.
And you just and everyone's saying that's a problem, and then you take all the Lions boys out, they go to Argentina, who beat the Lions beforehand, and you'd arguably say what they played was a better Argentina team than the Lions faced, and they disposed of them twice, and then a really young group went against USA and dispatched them. So, I think they're on that journey, but I think that performance and I think the interview that Harry Wilson gave, and Will Skelton, and the rawness of it and the emotion of it, it just shows to the public how much they care. And I think so. Hopefully that feeds down, and it just puts a little spark up to get those few extra players, the few bits of strength and depth. Maybe a few guys coming back from France who they might want to look at a bit more often, and then I don't think it's affected the World Cup in 2 years, and I don't think it'll affect the decision when it comes round to it in 4 years' time, when they go back for the Lions cycle and where they visit and what they do next.
Okay, let's get into that then. Contractually, the Lions are off to New Zealand in 2029, and then everything is up for renegotiation. There's a lot of chat about France. Some people have said Argentina. I think it would be hard to tour Argentina midweek fixtures, but I think Test series potentially. But from what we had on Saturday at the MCG, is that the game that saved Australia as a Lions touring destination, or should we look at something alternative?
Look, it's hard because on our last show, where we had Justin Harrison on, he talked very eloquently about the tradition that encapsulates the Lions, which is New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, always the best of the best. And you have that legacy and that heritage. And once you fiddle with it, you can't put the genie back in the bottle once you've got it out. I do think, though, having looked at the people that can afford to come on this tour, it is a huge with all due respect, aging Lions fan club. I think people will watch the game back on TV. Of course they will. But a lot of young people cannot afford to travel. So I think something like opening up a tour to France, a Lions tour to France, would mean that instead of 50,000 people, you'd have 100,000 people. You would have an invigorated audience. You would have kids coming over for different games. And it would generate more revenue, more interest, open up to
I'm not sure it would generate more revenue.
No.
Because I think people would zip in and zip out. You'd go for a Friday night, Saturday, Sunday.
That's what
Justin was saying.
That's what Justin is making the point. And I do think France is not really the place to go. I think it could do wonders for the women's Lions, but I don't think it is where because you're not going into the Southern Hemisphere. What is the attraction to them down there all of a sudden? So the attraction is going somewhere. And if I go back to 2021 on the Lions tour, everyone was talking about staying in the UK, and because we could have gone to games, it could have really generated the money they needed. And I think the chairman at the time, Jason Leonard, said the Lions are a touring team. They're meant to travel and spread the gospel. So, yes, you've got to get the commerciality right, but you know that even if you did Argentina, as long as you could fix the game. I also think the Lions as a touring team need to explore where maybe they do their warm-ups.
For sure. I wonder, though, whether particularly with this Nations League that's now kicking in and the eagerness to help the Tier 2 teams, whether each Lions tour will now have a fixture against Fiji or Samoa in New Zealand, in Australia.
Sure, yeah.
I can't believe they haven't done that already.
Well, I know.
Well, I can't believe England doesn't tour the islands anyway.
I know.
But again, do you know what's going to happen? None of it will change. But
so you think we are back here in 12 years' time? I'm not sure we will be, but the Lions will be back here in 12 years' time.
Yeah, 100%. I would say 95% sure.
So even if you went to Argentina, would Canada and America pose a similar threat to what the Reds did and what, or is it going to be a runaway if they play against USA?
Yeah, I mean,
but let's take this into context of when this could be. We've got another 4 years. We then have to agree a contract, and I would imagine it will stay the same for the first 12 years. Then it might be an additional at the foot. They may add a fourth year where
I'm sure we'll be there for that.
On the 15th year, they go somewhere else. So by that point, USA, Canada, if you do a good job, the World Cup does a good job. There's a lot of if, buts, and maybes in there, but I'm pretty sure if you said you wanted to tour Argentina as well, would the fans travel? Yes. Is the midweek games problem an issue? No. We've seen it here. People still go because people will travel, will watch it. Now, can we then do something interesting with those midweek games? Yes. So there is a solution there. There is the fundamentals of it. People will travel. That this machine that is the British and Irish Lions, which no one can deny, anyone who's been in this country, is madness.
It's incredible.
The amount of people who have come over here, the atmosphere it's created. It is. It's the only thing that really works outside the World Cup in rugby.
Can I pitch you one other idea?
You'll be welcome to. I
We're
like
going to play
fun
on the
and
moon.
games.
What?
Yeah.
British
Space rugby.
British and Irish Lions with a tour with warm-up matches in Britain and Ireland and France, and then the best of SANZAAR. So you pull together, let's call them the SANZAAR Panthers. So Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa combine, and they warm up in New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa, and then you have a test in Cape Town, in Barcelona, and in Twickenham.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it.
That would be quite fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Would be quite fun. I think when you get into the travel and the 55,000 fans you've just made them cover the whole globe to go and watch these games.
But no, the point is that because you fill out your home stadiums, and therefore you get the young fans who would never get down here to go to Edinburgh and Cardiff and what have you, and then the 50,000 would do Barcelona, Cape Town, and vice versa. I think that'd be amazing.
I think it's a great idea, Alex. I love ideas.
Looking forward to the reader feedback already.
I'm feeling the logistics of that.
Yeah.
And
Well, but don't
around.
I think it's much easier logistics.
Well, it's just.
Do you know how many tons of kit the Lions have been moving around?
I saw actually most of it arriving, and there's a lot. And
20 tons of kit, and they've got 2 sets of each, and it's flipped, so one always goes straight to the next destination. It's the logistics of this.
Oh man, I saw all the support stuff actually. I was like, wow. You thank them, but you don't really appreciate actually what they're doing. Like being a kit man and trying to do all the admin around here. I mean, Charlotte, their team manager, who does an amazing job for England. She just it's like everything on steroids. It's like just mental. Like how just the levels of organisation and demand and the size of the touring party and the requirements, the facilities. I mean, you need a special set of people to run that. So fair play to all of them doing that.
Well done. Shall we have a wild stab at a ridiculous
Please
game?
have another
Oh no!
beer.
So this is the other thing.
Beer? Any more beer?
Lions have won this series. In 2009, there was a very big emphasis made of the third and final test, which is where do you leave the Lions shirt for 4 years?
Yeah.
Which obviously is why the Lions are going for it this weekend. If you aren't already starting to think about 2029, New Zealand, the big one, as far as the history and the heritage in 71 and everything that goes with the Lions, do you start planning now? And do you potentially look at Andy Farrell, returns to Ireland, wins another Six Nations, takes Ireland to a Rugby World Cup, and he'll then have done, I think, 12 years with Ireland. He joined straight off the boat. He joined 2016, didn't he? Straight off the England World Cup. So he'll have done 11 years with Ireland at that point. Presumably he'll be up for another challenge. So he gets 6 months holiday, and then the Lions say, great, now you've got your 18-month run up to New Zealand. Is it worth trying to pick a team for the British and Irish Lions 2029 first test against the All Blacks?
Well, I'm going to let you a little secret.
You don't know who's on this tour, let alone who's going to be there.
That might really push my knowledge.
Right.
But Henry Pollock could be a name.
Interesting. That
Hugo.
This tour had very few returning Lions. There were one or two, but not many. I think only Maro and Tyg Furlong had done 2 tours before this. Owen Farrell, obviously, when he joined.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Finn Russell was part of the 2017 Geography 6, wasn't he? So technically he's a 3-time Lion as well. But when you look up and down a potential Lions team for 2029, shall I have a stab?
Yeah, yes, if you would, because you're the only one who can do it.
Sheehan and so Porter and Genge both young enough to go again.
Yeah.
Sheehan definitely young enough.
Yeah.
Will Stewart.
Yeah.
Maro Itoje will be 34.
That's perfect.
Would make him a full-time Lion. Joe McCarthy would be young enough. Chesham will be young enough at 6.
Yeah.
Curry will still be young enough. Caelan Doris, who actually we should give a nod to.
Yeah, should have been here anyway. Yeah.
Should have been here. And then at 9, you have Mitchell, Ben White.
Yeah.
Finn Russell's probably going to be too old by that
Marcus
point.
Smith.
Sam Prendergast,
Smith.
possibly.
Prendergast.
Finn Smith. Kinghorn on one wing.
Yeah.
Tuipulotu, Ollie Lawrence. Tommy Freeman will still be a youngster.
Yeah.
Hugo Keenan.
Yeah.
So any other names you'd throw into that? But it looks like the Lions could take.
Faye Oboso, you haven't probably be here without.
Jack Morgan again.
Yeah, Jack Morgan.
Thomas Williams, I think we're just about be young enough. 32.
It's tricky, that, isn't
it? James Ryan would probably still.
James Ryan will still be young enough. But it looks like they could load up again on a lot of
When you comment, people
yes,
that you play for your country.
Who we have completely forgotten about.
Yeah, who we've got like young players that are up and coming that are currently in international setups that are going to do well.
That is a good idea. If you do fancy dropping down your 2029 British and Irish Lions first test team, and never too early to start the pub debate.
If you haven't yet finished the 2025 tour, we can review. It
is the greatest pub game.
We have just made it up on the spot, and we haven't really had time to research anything. So.
Well, that's mainly because actually there are a lot of guys who will be young enough to go again. You got very cross with me for asking whether Maro Itoje was a Lions legend off the basis of this tour. If he leads the Lions to a win in New Zealand, will you finally grant him Lions legendary status?
Well, if they win it, yes, then he plays well.
He would become.
Yes. He would become the greatest of the greats. He's definitely. Listen, I didn't say he's heading towards legendary status for both England and as a player. But
we just called him a great.
Yeah, great. He's a great. Legends and GOAT statuses for Richie McCaw is a GOAT.
Okay.
Because he was
back-to-back World Cups helps with that.
That's what I mean. And so I think it's hard to say when someone's still evolving and still developing. He is world class and a Lions great, and a top 1% of Secaros to have played the game. But we will wait to see. He will ultimately end up as a legend, but it's too easy thrown around. Everyone's a legend, mate. He's a legend. So no, it's not.
Okay.
He's a GOAT, mate. Messi's a GOAT. Ronaldo's a GOAT. McCaw's a GOAT. LeBron James is a GOAT. Michael Jordan's a GOAT. Tiger Woods is a GOAT.
It's also hard to be a goat.
Mayweather's a goat.
Big
but now you're just making goats, which stands for the greatest of all time, and you've just thrown numerous in the same sport. So how can they all be the greatest?
No, LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
You just said Messi and Ronaldo. They're two.
Yeah, but they're two different people within a sport. They're not. You can't. They're so different, but they're the same. Like they're not. They're carbon copies of each other. You can't have them both the same thing. But Messi is profoundly different from Ronaldo, but they can still be the greatest of all time in their game. They're just both at the top. There is a space for both of them because they're not like for like. Like LeBron James and Michael Jordan are.
Who's better?
Who's better? I prefer Ronaldo. I think he's more interesting. He's sexier. He's got more followers and he scores more goals. But he hasn't won a World Cup.
Messi's a better player.
But Messi. That's what people say is a better player. I don't know. It depends. That's what I want for me. You know. I don't. I don't, Messi's not selling multiple products, but who would you rather go on a piss with? Probably Ronaldo.
So he's your goat
because he scores more goals. No, because he scores more goals. He scores more goals.
So Ronaldo
he scores more goals. He's better looking.
He's got better rig. He's got more followers. He's more active on social.
Yeah, but
and he sells more products.
But he's also scored more goals. But then is Messi a better player? Potentially, but is there different people? They're different players, different people playing different positions. So it doesn't. They're incomparable. They're just supposed to. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, two amazing players. Mayweather, 50-0. Next weather. Next
Mayweather or Pacquiao.
Well, I mean, Mayweather, because Pacquiao got beaten. But again, different people. It's Canelo the greatest, but Mayweather beat him.
Yeah. Triple G.
Tiger Woods. Wheels fell off. He's the greatest.
Sphere.
Yeah. There's plenty of room for goats in rugby because you're different. Who's the greatest all-time back row player? Rich McCaw. Who's the greatest of all-time second row? I don't know.
There's a big paddock on the Sporting Icons Mountain.
Yes, for lots of goats. But you can't have the same goat. You can't have two goats playing the same thing. But then now we're talking about Messi's not the same position as Ronaldo. So there's space for both of them as greatest all time. But I would prefer Ronaldo, just purely because I like what he's about. I like the cut of his jib. Messi, I don't know. He's small and he might be scary the night out if you turn around. You're like, oh, fuck, what are you doing here?
I don't know what we're doing.
It's better than your fucking multiple Panthers or whatever, the global SANZAAR Panthers.
SANZAAR Panthers. Yeah. Oh, that's got a lovely ring to it.
And now it's time for the blind side.
Yeah,
it is.
Well done. Let's segue into Howden.
Now it's time for the blind side, brought to you by Howden, global insurance brokers and principal partner of the British and Irish Lions. In both insurance and rugby, when the unexpected happens, Howden have got you covered. Pick us an unexpected moment from that second test.
It is from the second test?
Oh. Yeah.
I've got one.
Go on then.
Well, I mean, it was one of the most profound blindside moments I've ever seen, really. I mean, Will Stewart managed to split his boot or lose his boot or break his boot or something.
Quite rare, that, isn't it?
Quite rare. Well, from a big man going into what he's a small boot, they're not really built for rugby players, those kind of boots, unfortunately. They look like the engineer, but they're not. They're soft leather, and we've got 130 kegs trying to step and move or scrummage. He's ripped through it or broken it. So he's rushed off the field. He's gone to the bench. He didn't have a pair of spare boots. Other props do carry multiple pairs of boots because they wear those horrifically long studs.
But also, it's a long run to that change room.
It's a long run to change room.
The MCG
but props often do break their boots because of the multiple studs they've got in the bottom of them, and they wear I think they're called 22s. They're all crampons for scaling a building. And he then looked at the bench and went, Tyke, you're a bigger gentleman. You're probably going to have the same feet. He's then squashed his foot in because I've subsequently seen Will Stewart comment that actually the boot was 3 sizes too small. Put his foot into his left foot, then proceeded to do a break and do a shimmy, right? Which Tyke Furlong's now claimed was an assist. If this was football,
it was the magic that was in his boot.
Yeah, the magic in the boot not contained in Will Stewart, and Will carried on and played the game. But actually, subsequently, he's crippled himself because his foot is now been crushed into a boot 3 sizes too small. So he got it wrong, but carried on.
Do you think now he might think that small boots is a thing? It'll become superstitious, and he'll end up with really bad
It's like a sporting Cinderella.
It is,
tale for 2025.
It wasn't ideal.
Fortunately, it wasn't a glass slipper, or it would have exploded by the sounds of things.
But I mean, it's interesting because if that was football, Tyke Furlong probably would have spoken to his agent and got some sort of money off his contract.
I did see actually, very good exposure on the grandest stage of all.
Yeah.
I did see.
It would have been shunned back in the old days because one was a different colour to the other, and it'd have been having a personality far too colourful, and he'd have just got stamped on.
There's an NBA guy who wore an Adidas boot on one foot and a Nike on the other shoe because he wanted to get sponsorship. He would wear them for every game to see which one would sign him, which I think is not a bad play.
Very clever.
I tried to do that and put 2 left feet on one. round in circles,
fell over, headbutted something.
round in circles, fell over, and that was the end of the game.
I once presented a show on Sky with 2 left shoes on. I took them both in the dark, both shoes bending out to the...
Oh. Both of them would have been winkle pickers or handmade churches, wouldn't they, as well?
I did see one person comment that they thought that the boot exchange between 2 of the larger gentlemen on the touchline in the heat of the most high-profile test match of 2025 was a wonderfully amateur moment.
Yes.
It's seen in most touchlines up and down the country.
Can I borrow your boot?
Yeah. People playing in brown shoes because they've not remembered their boots. Will Stewart putting it back into the amateur days, which was brilliant. Okay, well done. That was a lovely moment. It was an incredible story for Will Stewart.
It's not one anyone saw coming.
Instrumental in the try that won it. And therefore, whether it's the bounce of the ball, a change of boot, a last-minute injury, or a lucky interception, rugby is all about navigating the unknown. And that's where Howden come in. Their team of experts supports clubs, fans and businesses in preparing for whatever's next in life, because when the unexpected happens, Howden has you covered.
Except me, I'm uninsurable.
Except you are still uninsurable.
The other easy one to go on to would have been Tom Curry's tackle. Suoliti didn't see that.
No.
He did not see that
And that
coming.
was a blindside.
Oh
my
that
God,
would have
that's
ticked
unbelievable.
that would have ticked every single box.
It was a blindside by an open side with an unseen moment.
Yeah. And you would need insurance for that tackle.
Because
However, the boot one's more interesting.
Right.
But basically, Howden has you unexpected for both.
We are all done. We've got quite a busy week in Sydney. We've got a few other bits to tell people about if you're out here and listening to the show. And thank you so much. We've had so many people who've come and said hello and they're enjoying what we're up to.
Very nice.
And it's been very nice to see the Lions fans in full voice throughout the last 3 weeks or so. We do have some tickets available for the live audience show that we're doing in Sydney at the Establishment. That's Thursday, the 31st of July, ahead of the third test. Hask, the Lord and myself I think we've got quite a few people in for that one, actually. But check out the link in the episode description box if you're looking for something to do in Sydney this week. We've got signed copies of our new book, which are available to pre-order at Waterstones. Pre-order to secure your copy using the link in the episode description box. What's next tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
I've got a lunch. And,
Classic tins.
Good. Busy day. The tour is coming towards the end. I will be sad when it's over, actually.
It's not for me. I've got to go to Bali. I've got DJ set Saturday night. I've got work bits. We've got loads of stuff. So I'm winding up. You winding down.
Lovely. All right.
I'm always wound up in some degree.
You
there
are
are some
definitely
great
wound
golf
up.
courses in Sydney. There were in Melbourne, and I'm hoping to get on one of them. And I've just been invited, and I can't do it tomorrow. So
Oh.
at some point,
It's very readily.
Lunar Links sort of fired me up a little bit, so I wanted to play some golf.
You played
That
very
was
well,
a
actually.
lovely course, that. Lovely course. Not that I played very well. If you've enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us for the latest rugby updates. Thank you as always to the great people at Continental Tyres, the official tyre partner to England Rugby. Remember, if you're looking for an award-winning tyre that can keep up with your every move, look no further than Continental Tyres. We're a folding pocket production, stats and facts provided by Russ Petty. That this episode was produced by Tom Edwards. Have a very good rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
You've been listening to The Good, Yay, The Bad, and The Rugby, Oof, with Alex Payne, James Haskell and Mike Tindall. Thanks for listening.